broken. It's trying to be a terminated quartz crystal. It's from this big piece. Ooh, there's one that's got a lot of busy work for its size. Nice. So these edges are real good to look at where the rain's been eroding it, the creek. There are quite a few insects swarming around us. Those would look good in the top of a little planter, wouldn't it? With ice plants growing around it. We're in some crazy land. This is just all logs and stuff that have slid off the hills after they got burnt, and gravel packing it in, so it's like driftwood piles with rock on top of that. The whole mountain just caving away here. Not sure if that's a trail up here, a bulldozer track, or just the basic cliffs, but we're working our way out of this little creek and upwards into some very exposed territory because of the fires. Very eroded territory. So bad for the land, good for prospecting. Oh, look at that. And we will see what we get onto here. Same area. I mean, the hillside is just sloughing away here. And losing its treasures downhill to us. Okay, where's the big old spears that broke off of there? Do you see them anywhere? I'm keeping my eyes open. That is just... that is awesome. That's a nice specimen. Nice. Okay, untouched since the rain fell. Untouched, it looks like. Oh, we're getting into the good stuff. You can tell. This creek is punching through some real crystally stuff right near here. Looks like the trail up above here. Unless it's a bulldozer cut, but it looks like the trail. And fire brick in the creek. There's a relic. Hey, look. There's another. We're pretty far up here, and that's pretty old. And that's pretty cool. That was probably the miners. Or maybe the writer himself. I just want to show you these because they're really cool. Look at that. Square nail. It's all blown out. And a little ring. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Look, that's probably a wheelbarrow from the mines themselves. Which is pretty cool when you think about it. You know? That holds some dirt around on this hillside for sure. Oh, awesome. I can appreciate that. But the whole creek is kind of full of relics. So I believe we're right up in one of the mines, basically. You can see the hill all caved away. And I'm not sure if this is the exact one, but one of these is where Robert Louis Stevenson's little cabin actually sat. It wasn't down by the road. It was actually up here a little ways, I believe. There was cabin remnants and mine remnants and stuff. And there's this right here. The wheelbarrow and everything was downhill from it. I thought this was one of the hiking trails. But we need to get up there and look. And it's taking me a while because there's so many cool rocks. This is probably also just tailings, because that's how you get a flat spot on the side of a mountain. Ooh. And we might be at the right altitude. Remember when we were up in Knoxville, we were finding all that white agate and marbles and stuff? If you looked out from here through the forest, which you can't, you'd probably be able to see that same spot where we were. Yeah, creepy thing on my finger. Or it's a spider egg. It's pretty cool to be across the expanses of valleys and canyons that have been eaten by the waterways and be on the same layer, looking across to it. Just wanted to show you this. It's all pretty cool. It's hard to choose what to show you. We are up in Crystal Land. Sides like this where you can look for the one crystal sticking out. Do you see that? That's what I'm talking about. Okay. The other thing about this, let me show you, is that without vegetation, no matter how it occurs, where you have precipitation, the ground erodes massively. Here's an example I always love to use. These are little miniature dolomites. Do you see that? So each one of these is a little rock, and underneath them it's held up with a pedestal of earth. So the fire came through here and it burnt everything. This should have all the layers of leaf and everything on it, and it burnt it. And now the rain is falling from the atmosphere, sometimes without even hitting a leaf to slow it down. It's impacting, and each one of those is like bam, and you might as well be hydraulicking away the hillside with a hose, and it's just washing and washing, and it'll do that until it gets some plant matter on it, some organic matter, or a rock or a log or a piece of bark, and it's really a bad cycle. You can see the little needles here trying to catch under them. They could slow it down, but that's why you either want to have some sort of rock surface, organic material or something. Don't just strip it down. I see a lot of people clearing out their areas for fire danger, and they're just reducing it to bare mineral, and the same thing will happen to you. You can lose a half a foot of soil in a year. Now back to the crystal. Look at that. That is awesome. Yeah, they're probably all around us. It says let your eye scoot across the whole thing and look for the one white thing or plasticky thing or whatever catches it that's out of the normal. Well, this is neither of those, but it is an old road. It was carved, you can see it winding off there in the distance, off through the trees, and the bank has been carved and it's spilled over. the wheelbarrows and stuff downhill. And you can see she rears up steep from here. But this is not the service road. There's a service road that goes up to the towers and people use the switchbacks and climb all the way up. This isn't it. There is light up here, like there's a ledge and overhang. This looks like tailing piles that they threw down the hill, and it looks incredibly flat up above there. All this could be gone through. That actually looks like a human trail coming down and through here. So just another spot where they dug in. You can see how far they went back. See the old quarry marks. Dug it out, created this whole flat spot. Found something they wanted here. It left us with another one of those, probably dozens of them. So my battery's flashing, and there is an overwhelming amount of little druzy lined. I'm going to look around for a little bit and then I'll be back with you. And then maybe we'll climb up here. That might be the upper trail coming through, and then the cabins and the bigger mines are up above, and we're just at a little ledge that I was not aware of. So many little specimens here, it's really awesome. I mean, there's just a lot of that. Oh, this. I mean, I think we're getting into, these are cinnabar mines and stuff up here. So I think some of these little red crystals, pockets like that, could actually maybe be mercury ore. I wouldn't quote me directly on that, but I have my suspicions. This is just all huge tailing. They just see that pyramid there, another heap. So this creek has just been dug out on both sides. They used the erosive power of the creek and then just went off wherever it had already exposed rock face. They dug in. You can crawl around on your hands and knees here and do a fairly good collection in a little area. See, this stuff is what this is a material I'm highly suspicious of being a mercury ore. The mountainside of it. That's what they were looking at too. And I see just raw faces everywhere, so we're going to scamper up all this and take a look. Kind of working the slopes here where it's all denuded below all these big cavities in the rock. And I know it's small. That's another Napa Valley quartz crystal. There's a couple other less clear things here. So I think I might slow way down and go through these delicate crumblings and see if we can't just get a bunch of those. Or another one. There's our little camp area where we are. Or bottom of the barn. Yeah, and this was way lusher before it got burnt. Okay, well, somewhere up there, this was hanging. This is a paper wasp nest. And they make this by chewing on the side of trees. in other places and gathering up the organic material, like how we make our paper, and building it into a big old hive. And man, if that was full and it fell down, you'd be in trouble. It's usually got smooth wrappings all around the outside of it. Great fire starter. Look at that. It's a different type of, I wish I had me miner here with me. You know, it's a druzy of one sort of crystal with another yellower mineral that's grown in amongst it. Here's another specimen here. Maybe some sort of iron oxide. Those are cool though. It's looking right in what used to be the old roadway that they made out of their tailings. It sat here for another 100 years and then just got burnt wide open by a fire. And now we're here. Ancient coin. No, it's a zinc Lincoln that was in the fire. If it's not 50 years old, we can bring that puppy home. Boy. Well, it's getting late enough in the day. We're getting some sideways light through here. And it's making it a little bit easier to pick out the little terminated shapes of them. I figure we'll scamper up to that next flat area up there. And this is kind of where the creek runs over the front of the tailings piles, and I can see big worked on face there. And we'll keep our eyes out. Mind too, there could have been caves all over the side of this. I know there is. We're actually probably on top of hollow as we travel along, because I've seen them. I mean, massive caverns that they dug out, but this could have been the opening of a cave right here too. And then you just blow it off and it all falls down, and that's what it looks like. So, unless you had the chig here to dig it out, I mean, geez. And you can see they just went into this and dug it down and dug it down. And that's what we're climbing on, and it's become about 90% quartz. So it's bedazzling to the eyeballs. Yeah, see, this is the actual site, I think, where his cabin was. So we just bisected into it. See the old stacked wall? There's a trail headed off there. That way, which we're looking up at. And then this. Let's go read the placard. We'll go look up inside this. What did we learn? We learned it didn't have to be big. I don't see any paintings or desirable painting surfaces. Nope. But there's a path well worn up there. 1911, Robert Louis Stevenson. This tablet, placed by the Club Women of Napa County, marks the site of the cabin occupied in 1880 by Robert Louis Stevenson and bride while he wrote the Silverado Squatters. The Silverado Trail is what winds up and over this mountain. Doomed to know not winter, only spring, a being trod the flowery April blithely for a while, took his fill of music, joy of thought, and seeing came and stayed, and went nor ever ceased to smile. And See a little creek running down and big old rock formations. This might have been kind of natural. I think that the miners dug into it before, after, and during that stay. But this was pretty far out here. You know, there's a more modern road that goes up to the towers, like I was saying, but this is just a skinny little thing. That's probably where that other road was going, was winding up to here. And it's just kind of fallen off and abandoned. But this was their yard. You can see big stones placed around still. So that's a good spot to come out. Looks like that trail goes up a canyon. There's a trail there going up a canyon. Looks like we can go up a crack there. Maybe look down into some stuff. You see that? That looks like a trail. But it's kind of blocked off. Yeah, that's the mine up there. Okay, we're gonna go look at that. That's why the rocks are here. It's a no-no. But we're gonna go yeah. That's another spot where there was a quartz in the hillside. And that's where everything, this whole flat area, all this that's making it flat and less of a steep creek, that whole flat area, the ones below, all digging out of this. Okay, let's climb up. It's pretty steep. And if I remember correctly, there's a massive, huge pit in the ground up here. So, I don't think you want to climb the whole way with me. But we're going to climb up that, and I'll see you at the top. Oh, there's another whole big flat area up here. I imagine it was way more developed then than it is now. These boulders of quartz. They're pulling out of here. That's what these are. Yeah, it's craziness. Okay. Yeah. I've been on this on different stretches of it too, so it ran all through this mountain and they tapped into it wherever they could.